Hai, Assalamualaikum. Selamat pagi. Awani pagi jam ini bersama saya Farhan Hakimi dan rakan penyampai Amirul. Dan di pagi ini kita nak membincangkan satu topik yang tentunya penting dalam memastikan keselamatan dan kesejahteraan anak-anak kita, iaitu melindungi anak dan juga bagaimana sentuhan selamat dan keselamatan diri itu dapat diterapkan. Dan juga sebagai ibu bapa, guru dan anggota masyarakat, kita semua tentunya memainkan peranan yang penting dalam melindungi anak-anak daripada ancaman fizikal dan juga emosi.
Namun bagaimana kita dapat mengajar mereka mengenali sentuhan selamat serta melaporkan sentuhan yang tidak selamat dengan berkesan? Untuk membantu kita memahami isu ini dengan lebih mendalam, bersama kita pagi ini ialah Tengku Yasmin Nastasha dari Children's Protection Society. Beliau akan berkongsi pandangan, strategi dan langkah praktikal yang boleh kita ambil untuk melindungi anak-anak kita di dunia moden yang penuh cabaran ini. Jadi selamat datang, terima kasih kerana hadir pada AWANI pagi kita pada hari ini, Cik Natasha. Yasmin. Sorry. Maybe the first question is, why is it essential to teach children about safe and unsafe touching, and what is the best age to start these conversations?
Okay. Selamat pagi, selamat sejahtera dan salam satu Malaysia. Is it? No, not anymore. Okay. Selamat pagi. My name is Tengku Yasmin Nastasha. I'm a lawyer. And also, I'm the spokesperson for Children's Protection Society, an NGO currently based in Penang. First, let me start with some background of our NGO and what we do. For over 32 years, CPS has worked to protect vulnerable children through advocacy, education, and support. And we are currently raising awareness on children's safety, where we feel that there is a dire need for more advocacy and awareness about boundaries and protecting themselves. From unsafe touching. So through our Jangan Sentuh Saya campaign, I create videos online to help educate children on this crucial topic. As a lawyer passionate about child rights, I believe it's essential to bridge the gap in awareness and ensure every child knows how to stay safe. So to answer your question, how should we teach children about safe and unsafe touching? Actually, according to Children's Advocacy Center of Kent County, parents should start teaching their children about body safety at the age of 3 to 5 years old. So when you teach the children body parts, you also should teach them that their private parts are not meant to be touched by anyone, nor should anyone show or ask them to touch their private parts. So we have to help children understand boundaries and recognize inappropriate behavior. So early education can prevent abuse, so teach them as early as possible. And also, you can role play with your children, like what can their preschool teacher help them during toilet time. And then also utilize animated videos available online about safe touch and unsafe touch to make learning more relatable and impactful.
I think it is widely known that most families in Malaysia regards, like discussing topics like relating to body autonomy or safe touching is culturally sensitive and is something that is taboo. But how can parents navigate these conversations while also respecting cultural norms?
So cultural sensitivities are a challenge, but these conversations can be framed within the values of respect, dignity, and religious teachings. So for example, kalau for Muslims, you align these discussions with Islamic principles of modesty and protection to make this topic more acceptable. And since dari kecil we are ingrained about covering up, so those parts you have to tell them the parts that you cover up are not supposed to be touched by anyone. And it should be taught as early as possible, and parents can use storytelling to ease into these conversations, normalize discussions as part of raising aware and respectful children.
I've seen the videos on your Instagram page, Children's Protection Society. You teach on kids on how to, like what is safe touching and unsafe touching. But parents remains a critical, partner in the kids' life to what do you call it, untuk menghalanglah benda-benda ini berlaku sebagainya. But what are the most effective ways for parents to empower their children to recognize and also to report unsafe and inappropriate touching? Because we know that there might be a lot of cases that goes unreported, right?
Yes. Okay, to empower the children, they can teach the shout, run and tell strategy, which is in Malay, jerit, lari, bagi tahu. So shout when you are in danger, run to safety, and third, tell a trusted adult. So, but what I'm more worried about is children not feeling comfortable talking to their parents. So it's the parents' responsibility to create a supportive home environment where children can feel comfortable sharing. And you can also remind your children about available resources like talian kasih at 15999 or at their WhatsApp helpline 019-261-5999. Or they can even reach out to us on our social media, and we will try to connect with available resources. And what other things that the parents can do is role play with their children. You know, what happens kalau they're in an unsafe situation? What should they do?
I think it is also rampant that when these children are facing situations like, having to deal with those, sexual harassers and stuff, they feel scared, when they report, perhaps they feel that, there are certain repercussions, that might arise from reporting and stuff. But how do we address the stigma and also fear that often prevent children from speaking up about experiences of unsafe touching?
Okay, so I understand there are children who not report this because they don't have a place to confide. Tapi we should create a safe, non-judgmental environment for the children to share their concerns, and there's always talian kasih. And we always have to reassure them that reporting is brave and necessary. Even it will not lead to blame, even if it involves family members. So we need to normalize these conversations through safety through school programs, media campaigns, and community engagement. They can also use platforms like Astro along with social media to create messages in Bahasa Malaysia or any other local languages to reach diverse audiences.
I'm pretty sure we've heard of cases of Abang Bas before this, and there's a lot of controversy around it, and that's where the conversation of safe touching and unsafe touching came about. And it's a troubling case in child abuse incidents. But there are still some people who says that it's okay, it's normal in our culture and all that. But what do you think the systemic changes that are needed to necessarily tackle this issue effectively and say that it's not okay?
Okay. So according to the Department of Social Welfare, this year there's an increase of abuse cases. This year we have about 8,000 abuse cases compared to 2021 where there was about 6,000 cases. And then as of August 2024, about 4,000 children are in need of shelter and protection. So we have existing laws in place. We have Child Act, we have also the Sexual Offences Against Children Act, where measures have been taken by the government to protect the children. But this must come hand in hand with stronger enforcement and supportive community. So actually, the recent amendment to the Child Act makes it mandatory for people to report abuse or neglect cases under Section 29A. So we should improve access to reporting mechanisms, especially in the rural areas. And then we can also train educators, public health workers and law enforcement to handle abuse cases effectively, and also expand community outreach in rural and underserved areas with education and support programs.
Based on your personal observations, right? In Malaysia, most Malaysian parents are they still well aware that they have the need to teach their children about safe touching and stuff, based on your personal observations?
My personal observation, I think parents have to teach their children. That's not enough. It's not enough to rely on schools or teachers to teach them. We have to tell them, and because you know how your children would react to certain situations. So it's best that you teach them what can they do, if they're in certain situations.
We know children, they spend a lot of time in schools, I think how many hours, Farhan? schools, play a critical role in child protection.
Yeah.
But I think we will talk about it in the second block. We'll focus more on how schools can help in terms of like spreading this kind of information about safe and unsafe touching. We will take a short break and we'll be right back.
Hai, kami kini berada di lapangan terbang antarabangsa Istanbul dan kami dalam perjalanan untuk menuju ke Kahirah untuk World Urban Forum kali ke-12 dan juga Baku, Azerbaijan untuk COP29. Dan ini 5 fakta menarik mengenai lapangan terbang antarabangsa Istanbul ini. Pertama, selama berabad-abad lamanya Istanbul memang terletak di kedudukan yang cukup strategik. Jadi lapangan terbang antarabangsa ini juga antara yang meneruskan tradisi itu di mana pertemuan antara timur dan barat dan sebagainya. Jadi tidak hairanlah Turkish Airlines terbang ke destinasi yang paling banyak di seluruh dunia, lebih banyak dibandingkan dengan penerbangan lain di seluruh dunia. Fakta kedua, apabila sudah terbang ke ratusan buah destinasi, sudah pasti petugas-petugas Turkish Airlines di pelbagai sudut akan mempunyai kemahiran untuk pertuturan pelbagai bahasa dan juga memahami kepelbagaian budaya yang ada. Fakta ketiga, jika anda transit agak lama di Istanbul Airport ini, antara perkara yang anda boleh lakukan selain daripada makan dan juga beli belah, anda boleh datang mengunjungi Istanbul Airport Museum ini. Fakta keempat adalah pengalaman di lounge di lapangan terbang antarabangsa Istanbul ini yang sukar anda temui di tempat-tempat lain. Perkhidmatannya pelbagai, bukan sahaja makanan yang sedap, ada perkhidmatan untuk penginapan, ada juga untuk solat ataupun masjid, tempat ibadah, ada juga boleh main golf, ada nursery dan pelbagai lagi. Wayang pun ada katanya kat sini. Fakta yang kelima ialah Turkish Airlines satu-satunya penerbangan yang mempunyai chef terbang atau the free chef yang akan menghidangkan makanan terus kepada anda, khususnya di penerbangan kelas bisnes dan juga kelas ekonomi yang terpilih. Menarik kan?
Bila kerja sendiri, semua kena buat sendiri. Tapi, bersama rakan niaga, semuanya dapat ditempuhi bersama.
Kementerian Dalam Negeri memberi lampu hijau supaya pengesanan dadah dilakukan terhadap pengguna web.
Tahap integriti warga polis di Raja Malaysia PDRM masih membimbangkan walaupun peringatan dan amaran diberikan berulang kali.
Anwar menegaskan bahawa negara ini tidak mengiktiraf Israel secara de jure meskipun keberadaan negara itu di peringkat antarabangsa.
Malaysia tidak akan meminda peta sempadan maritim dan tetap mempertahankan kawasan dan kedaulatan negara di Laut Cina Selatan.
Baik, kembali lagi dalam Awani Pagi bersama saya Farhan Hakimi dan rakan penyampai Amirul Aiman. Kita masih lagi membincangkan berkenaan dengan sentuhan selamat ataupun safe touching. Dan kita bersama dengan panelis di studio yang akan bawakan kepada anda untuk mengulas dan mengupas dengan lebih lanjut berkenaan dengan isu ini dan bagaimana setiap pihak dan pemegang taruh yang berkenaan dapat memainkan peranan mereka dalam memastikan bahawa sentuhan selamat ini dapat diterapkan dalam keluarga mereka dan sebagainya. Okay, let's get back to our guest, Tengku Yasmin Nastasha, Jurucakap Children's Protection Society. Well, like Amirul said just now, like schools play such a critical role in child protection. Like, what programs or approaches can educational institutions adopt, to teach children about safe and also unsafe touching?
Okay, schools can integrate personal safety education through subjects like PJK, Pendidikan Islam, and Moral. And they can also conduct teacher training to deliver these lessons effectively. and use practical activities like role-playing in class and use real-life scenarios to engage the students. And they can also partner up with organizations like CPS to run awareness workshops.
And then I'm pretty sure, you know, in a lot of cases, like, for example, I'll give you another cases like for example, trauma, like depression, they might have, you know, like some behavioral signs. And I'm pretty sure person who has been abused or sexually harassed or maybe experienced unsafe touching might exhibit those kind of behavior. But how can parents, or, you know, when we talk about schools, educators identify these signs in the children?
Okay, so parents and educators should look for signs macam sudden changes in behavior. If tiba-tiba the children are more anxious, they become more withdrawn, or they avoid specific people or places. So they have to look for those signs. And then they also have to look for physical signs like unexplained bruises or discomfort. So those signs you should look for at your children. You know, as parents, I believe that you should know your children well enough to know that there are changes in their behavior, and we should seek why that's happening. And parents and educators should also create a safe space for children to feel comfortable when sharing their concerns.
Yeah, what role do community organizations like the Children Protection Society play in, you know, raising awareness about safe touching, and how can the public support these efforts?
Okay, so CPS runs workshops, campaigns, and also offers counseling to families and children. We are planning and hoping to collaborate with schools, NGOs, local leaders to extend our reach. The public can support us by volunteering, donating, or just promoting our promoting our campaigns on social media and WhatsApp groups to ensure that our message reaches more audiences. We should also normalize conversations like this among parents and children.
Interesting when you mentioned your Children Protection Society. I'm pretty sure you have launched a lot of campaigns or maybe initiatives. Maybe you can share with us some of your campaigns or initiatives that aim at educating children about safe and unsafe touching.
Okay, so recently we started a campaign called Jangan Sentuh Saya, where we talk about safety concerns over children and what parents and guardians can do to help keep the children safe. So there's also the Talian Kasih helpline that remains a key resource for reporting and seeking guidance.
Perhaps you could share, like, what are some of the common myths and also misconceptions about safe touching that, you know, need to be addressed to create a safer environment for, you know, our children?
Okay, so I have 3 myths that I want to the first myth is that teaching body safety is inappropriate for young children, but the reality is early education empowers children to protect themselves. And the second myth is only strangers are a danger. The reality is most abuse cases involve familiar individuals, according to research on child abuse in Malaysia, published by the Medical Journal of Malaysia. About 71.4% of the abuses are known to the victims. And the last myth is reporting abuse brings shame to families. The reality is, reporting protects the child and can prevent them from further harm.
What should parents do if, I'm pretty sure it's easy to say that, oh, if you've been harassed, you know, if you have experienced unsafe touching, it's easy to say, oh, just tell your parents. And I'm pretty sure it's a bit difficult because they have traumas, you know. But what can parents do if the child express reluctance, you know, to share with it? Or maybe, you know, it's not just the parents' responsibility. Maybe if they have siblings, they can pitch in as well.
Okay, so it's important for families to create a safe environment and make the children feel safe to share their concerns. And if the parents feel that the children are not sharing, they can, you know, ask them, you know, there's this helpline or there's this NGO that works too, and ask them to share them if they're not comfortable with their own family or friends.
Well, I am intrigued by the "Don't Touch Me, Jangan Sentuh Saya" campaign. But I want to know, how has the response been so far?
So it's been very good. One of our videos actually reached about 200,000 views. So I think that's quite an achievement because we just started this about 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's been very responsive. A lot of people are coming up saying, oh, my children ada yang kena abuse, and we have got people coming up to us, the counselors coming up to us saying, oh, what you're doing is good. You should raise awareness about these issues because it's not often talked about.
And you mentioned Children Protection Society is based in Penang. Are there any other bases or location or chapters maybe you plan to expand, because Penang is quite an urban area?
Yes.
Maybe it has child abuse or sexually harass kids. Maybe it's more towards not so urban area. Maybe you guys planning to expand?
So right now we're expanding to KL. We're going to call it the KL chapter. We're planning to expand to KL, and then KL will serve the Klang Valley. And we hope that we can do it nationwide to have houses in Kelantan, let's say Pahang, rural areas.
Yeah. Is there a long-term plan to introduce initiative other than safe touching campaign?
Other than safe touching campaigns, yeah, we do have plans. So everyone has to stay tuned what we have in store.
It's a secret.
Yeah, and follow us on our social media to know more.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Malaysian has been rocked with this news of Global Equine Services, GISB, and there are cases where kids has been sexually harassed,
Exploited.
How can you convince to the public that Children Protection Society is not, like GISB, or won't be? Because now we have this, people will have this kind of misconception or preconceived notion about this daycare or maybe a care center. How can you convince the audience that we're not like them, or that we will never be like them, and we were actually a safe place for kids?
Well, they can come to our shelter in Penang and see and ask the children. We're not secretive. We don't have our own community, not tutup anything. So they can see it for themselves, ask the children if they're okay, Yes. You just have to see it for yourself, I think. And tengok and judge the homes for yourself. I'm not going to say, this place is not good, you have to come to us, or you have to go to this place. It's up to the parents or in the community to judge which homes are good for the children.
Well, I think we definitely anticipate and hope that this kind of campaign reaches, to more audience, So how does this kind of campaign, ensure inclusivity for different communities, especially those who live in rural areas or suburbs of, Kuala Lumpur, etc.?
How we can reach your question is how to reach more.
Those who are in rural
So we
communities.
hope to work with NGOs and go to these rural areas to see what we can help, and to see what we can help do, and work with local governments as well to help and rescue children who are neglected or abused by their families.
And are there any? I'm curious. Are there any digital apps, or maybe how kids now they play games and cartoons or animations?
Interactive.
Are there anything that can teach the kids in terms of what safe touching and unsafe touching? Because having a serious conversation with them might be a bit difficult, but maybe having this kind of approach, or maybe like the videos that you did in Instagram page. Do you see enough of this initiative through applications or animations being done, or should there be more?
There should be more. There should be more videos done. There are a few videos done about safe and unsafe touching, stranger danger, and all this. But we can always have more. People should create more videos, to teach, because my video could only reach a certain number of audiences, maybe. So if you were to create, maybe you'll reach other audiences who like how you look or something like that.
Chinese audience will come in.
So
Okay.
we hope to reach more audiences by creating social media influencers should do this kind of videos instead.
Are you planning to collaborate with any influencers?
Inshallah.
I think it's a good initiative.
Inshallah, if any social media influencers nak datang and collaborate with us, we're open.
Yeah. Well, are there any partnerships so far with legal bodies or law enforcement to ensure proper reporting and actions against unsafe touching cases?
Okay, so our president, Datuk Sri Nazir Arif, works closely with the Royal Malaysian Police. So they work closely and help rescue children also to take to our home. So yes, we do work closely with police and other NGOs right now.
How do you feel about medias like us, like the news in terms of reporting? Do you think we have done enough to promote about this safe and unsafe touching, or do you think we should do more?
I'm very thankful that you guys came, invited me to be here today. So you're doing great, but of course there's always more to be done.
Ya, baik, kita nak berterima kasih kepada tetamu kita di studio, Tengku Yasmin Nastasha, Jurucakap Children's Protection Society, yang mengulas berkenaan dengan apa itu safe touching dan sebagainya. Dan tentunya kita harapkan kempen ini bukan sahaja diusahakan oleh Children's Protection Society, tetapi ia perlu difahami dan juga diterapkan oleh semua daripada kita lah, Amirul.
Betul. Dan juga sedikit peringatan, PSA lah katakan, jika anda terlibat ataupun sexually harassed or the unsafe touching experience this kind of things, you can call 15999 1599 talian kasih, ataupun reach out dekat WhatsApp diorang 0119261599. Dan saya kira itu saja yang kami dapat bawakan kepada anda dalam Awani Pagi kita pada hari ini. Saya Amirul Aiman
dan saya Farhan Hakimi. Salam hormat. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hai, kami kini berada di lapangan terbang antarabangsa Istanbul dan kami dalam perjalanan untuk menuju ke Kahirah untuk World Urban Forum kali ke-12 dan juga Baku, Azerbaijan untuk COP29. Dan ini 5 fakta menarik mengenai lapangan terbang antarabangsa Istanbul ini. Pertama, selama berabad-abad lamanya Istanbul memang terletak di kedudukan yang cukup strategik. Jadi lapangan terbang antarabangsa ini juga antara yang meneruskan tradisi itu, di mana pertemuan antara timur dan barat dan sebagainya. Jadi tidak hairanlah Turkish Airlines terbang ke destinasi yang paling banyak di seluruh dunia, lebih banyak dibandingkan dengan penerbangan lain di seluruh dunia. Fakta kedua, apabila sudah terbang ke ratusan buah destinasi, sudah pasti petugas-petugas Turkish Airlines di pelbagai sudut akan memiliki kemahiran untuk pertuturan pelbagai bahasa dan juga memahami kepelbagaian budaya yang ada. Fakta ketiga, jika anda transit agak lama di Istanbul Airport ini, antara perkara yang anda boleh lakukan selain daripada makan dan juga beli belah, anda boleh datang mengunjungi Istanbul Airport Museum ini. Fakta keempat ialah pengalaman di lounge di lapangan terbang antarabangsa Istanbul ini yang sukar anda temui di tempat-tempat lain. Perkhidmatannya pelbagai, bukan sahaja makanan yang sedap, ada perkhidmatan untuk penginapan, ada juga untuk solat ataupun masjid, tempat ibadah, ada juga boleh main golf, ada nursery dan pelbagai lagi. Wayang pun ada katanya kat sini. Fakta yang kelima ialah Turkish Airlines satu-satunya penerbangan yang mempunyai chef terbang atau the free chef yang akan menghidangkan makanan terus kepada anda, khususnya di penerbangan kelas bisnes dan juga kelas ekonomi yang terpilih. Menarik kan?